Hello, hello, hello. We are live. We are going to have an incredible conversation with Jacqueline. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait for you to hear from this beautiful soul. You know, the moment that she comes on, when you meet her, you'll see she lights up the screen. She's absolutely incredible. Hello, Nicoletta. Hello, Everson. So today what we're going to talk about is, I'm going to let her in here. Yeah. Her now doing what she absolutely loves. How many of you do what you love every day? You're excited to wake up. Hi, Jacqueline.
Hi,
How
how's it going?
good. You know, oh,
Exciting. Oh
Jacqueline,
my
you just
gosh.
froze.
Can you hear me
It's a
okay?
little choppy. Oh,
Is that
okay.
better?
It's a bit better. It's a little pixelated, but you're coming in
Okay.
clearer. Okay. Um, your energy is so beautiful. It's all going to work out perfectly. Okay, Jacqueline, I was asking people, I'm like, do you love what you do? To let me know if you love what you do. So I just like to dive right in, and you're going to get to know her through our conversation. What I want to talk about is before we met, what was your day-to-day life? Like, what were the kinds of things that you would do? What was your work?
So my day to day was very mundane. I was going with the flow, definitely living from a place of worry and fear, living always like cautious of what I said to other people, worried about what other people were thinking of me. I don't believe I was as self-confident as I am right now. And it was the kids, home, husband, work. That was it. That
And
was the routine. That was the life.
okay, so first of all, I have to tell you that that really surprises me, that it was very, very mundane, and that you were like thinking about what other people thought of you, and maybe you were showing up not as confident. That really surprises me, because I don't know you in that way at all. Well, I guess clearly you're describing a different person, because
Yes.
that is not you now. So you said that you would go to work. What type of work were you involved in?
Well, I worked from home and I was the office manager with my husband who runs a dump truck business. So I managed all of the day-to-day work. I did the payroll, I did the invoicing, I dealt with customers, and it was beautiful because I got the chance to be at home with the kids. So it totally worked out for my life at that time.
Okay, but it's perfect. So it worked out, but things were a little bit mundane. Did you ever think, because there's people right now who are probably also in something that maybe doesn't light them up every day, but did you think that there could be something more, or you could do something different?
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. I would have that feeling all the time. Like, this is not meant for me. I know that there's more, but I just didn't know what avenue. I didn't know how to go about finding that.
Tell, tell me more about that feeling that was in you that said, there's something more.
Yeah. So often I would feel like, what am I good at? Like, who am I? Am I more, I have to be more than just a mother, a wife, a business owner in a sense that it was a partnership really with my husband. And I wanted something like for myself, something that I could be proud of. I mean, sure, it's great. We have these amazing, we built this life together as a couple, but who was I? Like, I got lost in all of that. What was my like passion? What was my truth? Because everything I felt I did, it was a partnership. It was joint. It was to help him. It was to grow, you know, our, his business, right? But who was I underneath all of that? I had no idea. I didn't know where to look, how to start, what to do, but it was something that was always within me. And sooner or later it came out.
So here's what's interesting. First of all, put some love press some hearts if you can relate to that, whether it's now or at some point in your life where you were also thinking about, like, who am I? There is something more, but you just didn't know how to access it or what that is. Let us know in the chat if you can relate to that. So here's what happens. Jacqueline and I, we end up on a boat, on a yacht.
It was yacht.
Friend, on, I have to say, the hottest summer day. So it was perfect to be on a yacht in Toronto. And I remember so clearly myself and you, and I believe Ilona as well. We were at the back. I don't know what it's called from boat language, but I feel like we were
Yeah.
at the side, and we started talking. We just started talking.
Yeah.
What happened for you in that conversation?
So okay, so first of all, I have to let you know that I wasn't even supposed to be on that boat. Alona called me, amazing friend of mine who's been running these yacht parties with another friend, Azara. And she called me last minute and said, "Hey, do you want to go to this?" I know, because me and my husband literally went to this like 2 weeks prior. So I was like, "Oh, I don't know. It's kind of last minute." She's like, "Don't worry, just come. It's going to be great." And I felt, before I said no to her, there has to be a reason I'm asked to go here. But I didn't know what it was. So I go. It was the most perfect day, found parking, like everything was just working out. Got on the boat, and then we were doing an introduction of what we all do. And then there you were, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm a coach," like super humble about what you do. So I was like, "Oh my gosh, okay, I got to talk to this lady," because at that point, I was deciding, like, maybe coaching was something I might want to take a look at. I was going down this path of learning about manifestation and laws of attraction and just different things that I had never been exposed to before. So you caught my interest, and I said, I got to talk to this lady and just see what this coaching stuff was all about. And that's when we had this conversation, and I was blown away by the things that you were telling me, because it was things that I had been recently learning about. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, wow." So then you invited me to an event you were having at Verity, in 2 weeks on a Tuesday. Had no idea who you were. So I was like, "Okay, sure, great." Then I go, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, wow." Like, it was incredible just to learn and listen and talk to the other women that were in the room, and just the other people that spoke so highly of the work that you do and what you're all about. And that alone changed my life.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Knowing that you weren't supposed to be on that boat, and that date got changed a few times. Like, even for me, that wasn't the original date. And so I'd had it at a different time, but I could still make it on that day. That is absolutely incredible. And I could tell that what I was saying was connecting with your heart. There was something about that you were hearing that it was like, this is for you. And so here's what happens. Then Jacqueline comes out. Now, remember, Jacqueline has a feeling like there's something more, but she doesn't know exactly what that more is or the how. What ended up happening was Jacqueline joined our community, and she enrolled in our coaching certification program. So what did you notice start to change? We'll go to that in a second. What is different about your day to day, or what did you notice even before you started coaching, but as you were in the community, that started to shift in your day to day and how you felt every day?
Oh my gosh, my thinking, that my thoughts create my reality, that what I think about daily has an effect on my state of being, like how I am, how I show up each day. I can choose to be happy, or I can choose sadness, and it's all a choice. And we do not have to remain. Sometimes when we go through certain things and we feel upset, or we easily get annoyed at somebody, we don't have to stay there. We can change that and choose something different. And I was like, wow.
And then also for you now, so the other thing that happened was you had great friends, obviously, and still do, but then you enter into a community. What was that like for you? Always curious. What is it like to enter into this community?
Wow, I was blown away just by how supportive all the women were, and it's not even just women anymore, actually, in your community. It's just growing. When I entered in, it was such high caliber people in there that are all like-minded, that were thinking along the same lines as the thoughts that I was now having. And how the things that they were studying and being together with each other really uplifted and encouraged each other and empowered them to step into who they're being every single day. I've
And
never experienced that before.
and would you say that you're still friends with many of them?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yes. It's so true. They become your go-to people because they hold you at a higher standard. So
Yeah.
you went to our coaching certification program, and it was in that program that you realized who you want to serve and the type of work that you want to do. So who is that?
So, through the program, I really did discover that I had this greater knowing, this like almost like this power. We all have it. It's just coming to an understanding of what it is. So that was a discovery for me. And then it was so profound. I had never noticed these things about myself because I had to go within myself and start looking at how I can start to change the things around me. So it wasn't the things around me, outside of me, my job, my husband, the kids, the environment changing. And I always thought that's what needed to change in order for me to be happy or to express myself. But it was me. I had to make that change within. Change happens from the inside out. And that was so incredible knowing that. And from knowing that, I decided I wanted to help other people discover that as well, because we live from the outside in when it's the opposite. We need to live from the inside out.
And so now that you are letting people know and available to take clients and taking clients, what's your day-to-day like now?
Yeah, so right now what I do teach on I will coach on self-image. So for me that was inner expansion. We expand from within. So I want to help and encourage people to be able to make permanent and lasting changes by looking within themselves, by finding the light that they have inside of them to have everything outside of them change, the results, the money that they want in their lives, the love that they bring. And it starts with you. It starts with loving yourself. So my day to day is studying me, learning more about myself and what I love in order to go out there and help and be a successful client to myself, but to other people as well. Because if I don't make the changes, I can't help my clients do it.
What do you think? What have people, like even your partner, what have they noticed about you that has changed?
I would say definitely my confidence level has increased. I am easily able to say no to things that I do not feel that are in alignment with me anymore. So I don't just go ahead and say yes just because I feel like I have to. Setting boundaries was a big one. Loving myself and putting what I need first before I can step into any other role.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. And this is all of this comes from knowing yourself, but also knowing yourself and then learning when you're with people how to ask those powerful questions, how to listen in a way that you're taking in the whole person. And we're going to do a masterclass next week called the week after, in a couple of weeks, and it's completely free, and it's about the 3 steps to being a confident and profitable coach, because it's not only important that you feel confident when you're sitting with somebody to delve in and draw out from them what is inside and what it is that they desire. It's also important that you know how to talk about your services, that you know how to talk about your pricing and sell. So if you're a leader or a coach with an established business, or you want to become a coach and you want to come to this free event, just put KMC in the chat and we will send you the link for it. KMC, and it's in a couple of weeks and it's completely free. And so let's talk about that piece of it. Let's talk, Jacqueline, a little bit about selling your services, because
Yeah.
so many of us are in love with coaching, but we're not quite in love with the selling. How do you feel about selling now?
Now I look at myself and what value that I bring. It's knowing that the beliefs that I've held about myself and about things around me have changed. And if I can be so impactful to others and help them know and understand that their beliefs can also change, that we do not have to hold on to these things that are sometimes not even ours, that we've been living with for so long, my value is so much greater. So it is hard to put a dollar value on you, but I know that with my pricing, I bring a lot of value. Like I know I've built the belief that that I can help people transform in my energy.
Absolutely. That is, I love that. I love that, that you have the belief and know that people can transform in your energy. And your pricing and what you decide is a reflection of that. So if you have some, and I always say it's like the the money that the client pays, it's an energy exchange. It's really for them to get the
Yeah.
receive that value. And that is the one of the first ways, by investing in themselves, that they feel a shift happen. And so when your pricing comes from that, words like this is expensive, or this is too much, or this isn't that much, uh hello queen, Anissa. So all of that changes, because even with what you are charging, what it takes to work with you, you're still providing more value than that. Like they're still getting a deal.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, of course. Yeah. And then they're making that investment to commit to doing the
Yeah.
work, to commit to showing up on those calls for that duration of the time that they've committed to. Because if you don't make that financial investment, you tend to not take it so seriously. And I mean, I've done it personally before with other things in the past. So I know this is just human nature. So if you make that financial, you're invested. You're like, I paid that. I'm showing up.
Yes.
Right? And then they'll start to see the changes within themselves as they do that. And I understand that, oh, it's expensive. Oh, I've never paid this much before, because I did it. I did it when I signed up with the program because it felt so much bigger than me, because I've never done that before. I've never, number one, invested into myself. Like, who does that?
Yeah.
And then paid this large amount of money to do that. So we work through it. If I can help you work through it, then I'm available to do that
Yes.
with my
Exactly.
clients.
Yes. You absolutely help people work through that. And it's interesting because you work on self-image with clients, and we know that you can't outperform your self-image. So that's why the self-image work is so important, because that is even tied to what you will receive financially, but also what you feel you are worth to invest in. So many people, if it
Yes.
was for their kids, in a heartbeat, like wouldn't even think about it. But for them, because it's tied to how they feel about themselves, there's a lot of back and forth. So that's one thing that you're going to also learn on our free masterclass. Type KMC in the chat if you're interested, because it is about selling your services. It is about pricing, and that goes beyond coaching, because it can be anything that you're involved in for you to show up that's a match to your price, so that you feel really easy about talking about it and sharing it. And I think that, what I love that you said, Jacqueline, is how you, okay, so maybe let's go back. What was it like for you to, because here's what I say: nobody has a coaching or therapy budget. Nobody.
No.
We've got
No.
maybe like a travel budget. Maybe that's our coaching and therapy sometimes. But I don't know. Anybody on this call have a coaching and therapy budget? I didn't, but I do now. I have a like I will take money from my business, and there's a percentage that goes to my personal professional development, but I did not before. So what was it like for you? Because you were coming from a completely different world to invest in yourself.
Yeah. And it's also a belief, like,
Yeah.
I don't have a coach. I'm good. Nothing's wrong with me. I don't need someone to tell me how to
Yes.
be and how to think. Right? So that alone was a huge shift when I started to see how important that was and that you need that support and guidance. So recently, my view on that has been as children, we have our parents, like, or, I have my kids and I teach them, I help them grow. I support them with their decision making and help them to see different views of the world. But as we grow up as adults, there's nobody to do that for us. We have to rely on our own self, and our beliefs are now picked up from different things in our past. So why, as adults, do we not still go to coaches and not make it a norm to have this other person with a little bit more awareness than us to help guide us through life, to help shift some of the things that we need to shift to be the best of ourselves? And I
Yeah.
was like, this realization came to me, and I was like, this is so true. This is why people need coaches, just for that guidance and support as children are guided and supported throughout their life. And then we give them the tools and say, let them, go out into the world with everything that I've taught you. This is what coaches do. We help you to find the things within yourself by guiding you and supporting you so you can have the tools when you're faced with day-to-day challenges and just, life itself to handle it on your own. But for me, as you said, sort of going back to the question, it was a stretch for me. I had never invested, like I said, into myself before. It was scary. It was hard. It was hard. Like, it was hard. I didn't know where I was going to get the money from. But then I started to look at it a little bit differently. Working through that with somebody on your team really helped me to see how I could receive, because that's another component of this. And I don't think we have time to get into all this, but it's being available to receive, because I've never done that before. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm good. It's always like, no, I'm good. I can take care of it. I don't need help from people. So that alone shifted and changed for me to be able to see that, thank you, I can take that, and not being afraid to ask for what I want.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. And I think that so many of us can relate to the challenge in receiving and being supported, especially as a mom. You've got kids, you're supporting you're there for the kids, you're there for your partner, you're there for the business that you and your partner created. And that is easy. That's automatic. You don't
Yeah,
question it. But to say to yourself, I'm going to invest this much in me, and I'm going to receive benefits of it. And it's also something I've never done before. So you're really following your heart here. And that's why
yeah,
I like this work takes courage. And, for anybody that's in the work of coaching and you want to really learn even more about how to sit with somebody and be with them to draw out the best in them, how to be able to sell your services, come to our next free masterclass. Just put KMC in the comments and we will send you the link. It's in a couple of weeks on July 26th, and it's completely free. And we really talk about how to be with the client. And this really, a lot of people that also like to join this are leaders as well, that have teams too. And then I think that, well, before we wrap up, Jacqueline, what I love is that here you were. When did we meet? When was that yacht?
uh, July of 2022, I'd like to say.
Yeah,
So not like just over a year ago we
over a year
met.
ago. So look at what's happened in Jacqueline's life in a year. She was, prior to that, just kind of going through the motions day to day. Like, obviously love her family, happy to support her partner in the business, but feeling like there's something more, but not sure how to access it. We meet, and she feels a connection. She comes to an event, and then she embarks on a coaching certification program. She completely pivoted. Now she finds herself in this whole new community where I feel like it must have felt like she was coming home, because it was like, yes,
Yeah.
yes, these are my people. I'm like, wow, I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing my beliefs being reflected that yes, I can have it all. Yes, I am worthy. Yes, this is for me also. Oh my gosh, people see me in this way. Like all of the people in our community, you just mentioned Jacqueline's name and they're like she's a light. She is a light. Such a light. I could tell you so many stories about her because she also came on our retreat. So this is in a year, people. In a year, her life dramatically changed. Who she spends time with, what is happening in her mind, in her inner chatter. Even though she looks the same, but energetically so different. So then she takes this coaching certification program, and in it, she realizes, I want to help people to do what I just did. I want that state for somebody else. And now that's what she's doing. And here's the thing. We think when we invest in ourselves, when we do these things, that we're going to take away from our family. I met her children. We do a lot of client stuff. We had a client social. Her children are so proud of her. You can tell. And you can see it in how she shows up. She is an inspiration because now when she tells her children, follow your dreams, follow your heart, they know it's true.
Yeah.
They know that mom did that. And if mom can do it, I can do it. That's 1 year. Now tell me something, Jacqueline. What do you think, where would you be today if those steps if you didn't go to the boat that night and we never met and you didn't embark on this? Would it be the same as where you were last year?
Yeah, 100%. Just not knowing and almost like a void, like doing the things because it's so routine to do. And like, I've always been a happy and grateful person. There was just so much more depth to understanding what that really is to be happy and grateful. And my life would have just been the same because I wouldn't have known any more than what my awareness allowed me to have. So just like self-image, you can never outperform your self-image. I would have never been able to outperform who I was at that time. I would have just been, and that would have been great, but that wasn't my purpose, clearly.
Yes, and then it would have been like, well, when the kids are older, when this happens,
Yes.
when maybe I can figure it out. You are such a star, Jacqueline. Thank you so much for sharing. And if you want to know about how to be a confident and profitable coach, put KMC in the comment and we'll send you a link to a free live masterclass that I'm doing. And I really think if you feel connected to Jacqueline or just want to know more about her, book a discovery call with her. So I'm just like telling you, I don't know, but I'm going to do it now for you. DM her. Slide into her DMs and ask her for a call and spend 30 minutes with her. And she's going to draw something out of you and allow you to see something that you may not be aware of or you have an inkling of. So I really want to invite you to do that and let us know if you want the link to the masterclass, and we will have that for you. Anything that you want to say as we wrap this up, Jacqueline?
This has been amazing. Thank you. And I would definitely say anyone that wants to find out more and want to know about coaching and just how you can shift things in yourself and your clients, come to this masterclass because that's what it was sometimes for me too. Joining just a simple masterclass to get a little bit of an awareness and understanding can draw something out of you. And that will change your whole life.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Well, thank you so much. This was so much
fun. Amazing.
Oh.
Yes, thank you, Hina.
Thank you.
You have a fabulous day.
Thank you. You too. Okay, bye for now, everyone.
Bye, everyone.